Hi guys and welcome back. Today I'm talking you through some cheap dupes for expensive products. So let's get started. First up, primer. I have the Estee Lauder Flash Illuminator from the Estee Edit and the 17 Skin Wow 3-way highlighter. So on the right hand side of the screen I will be applying all the cheaper products and the left hand side is where the expensive products will be applied. I'm using a Giorgio Armani brush to do this today. You can use any kind of foundation or brush or even your fingers, whatever you prefer. Next up, foundation. We have the Lorac Perfection versus the Maybelline Superstay 24. Now, I actually preferred the Lorac Perfection on this because I feel like it gave a nicer finish on the skin. And I did feel like it lasted slightly longer. But if you are fairer in skin tone and you are looking for a drugstore foundation, then definitely give the Maybelline one a try. I was quite impressed with the shade. I just didn't feel like it lasted long enough on my skin compared to the Lorac Perfection. Next up, brows. We have the Anastasia Brow Pencil versus the Primark Brow Pencil. So first of all, I'm going in with the Primark one. And I did find that this was an incredibly soft pencil to use. It reminded me of a soft kohl eyeliner. And the Anastasia one was definitely firmer, which let you get more of a natural brush stroke. I think it's worth giving the Primark one a shot, but personally, I much preferred the Anastasia pencil. Next up, concealer. I have the Urban Decay Naked Skin versus the NYX HD Concealer. The Porcelain HD Concealer is slightly pinker in tone than the Urban Decay Concealer that I'm using today because that one is in a neutral tone. Both are quite good products, so I think depending on what your budget is, depending on which one that you prefer. Next up, brow gel. It's Anastasia versus Primark again, and there is only one winner in this today. It's the Primark one. It is so good for £1. Moving on to eyeshadow, we have the Naked Basics palette versus the Maybelline The Nudes. I'm starting with this cream shade and just applying that using a fluffy brush all over the lid. Moving on to a taupey brown shade to use in our crease. This will act as our transition colour. So again, I'm just buffing that in using a windscreen wiper motion. I found that the Maybelline shade was slightly warmer than the Urban Decay one, but I didn't mind either really. I think they're both as good as each other. I'm taking the black shadow from each palette, and I definitely found that I had to work slightly harder with the Maybelline black shadow. It wasn't as pigmented as I liked, and I did find that it went slightly grey and a little bit muddy, whereas the Urban Decay shade was just like boom, black. So that was definitely a stronger shadow and definitely better. I'm finishing that with the lightest shimmer shade, and I did definitely prefer how the drugstore product worked on this instance. I felt it was a nicer colour and gave a better effect on the eyes. Let's move on to eyeliner. Today I have the YSL Shocking Eyeliner versus the Maybelline Master Precise. Now these two are incredibly similar products. The tip on them is almost identical, but I did find that the formula was slightly better in the high-end product as it was slightly easier to work with and I felt like it wasn't dragging as much on my eyes. But the price on the Maybelline one makes it a much better buy in my opinion. They each have good and bad points. For mascara today, I have the Elizabeth Arden Grand Entrance versus the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I actually preferred the Maybelline mascara on this. I am a huge fan of Elizabeth Arden, but I just wasn't feeling this product. It just didn't really work very well for me, and I felt like the Maybelline mascara gave me so much more. With our eyes done, let's go back to the base. I'm taking my NYX and my Urban Decay concealer and I'm just going to conceal the under eye area, my chin and also my forehead to highlight. Next, I'm just going to go ahead with my finger and start to pat and blend that out before moving on to my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge to just bounce it all out evenly. Let's move on to blush. I have the Elizabeth Arden Nectar blush versus the MUA Blush Perfection in Blossom. I did prefer the formula in the Elizabeth Arden blusher, but the MUA blush is £2. You can't beat that. Moving on to powder, we have the Givenchy powder versus the Ben 9 neutral set. I'm just applying my neutral set to the under eye area, also my chin and any areas where we applied that concealer. I'm also doing the same on the other side. There was quite a big price difference on this. I know Ben 9 isn't a drugstore brand, but it is incredibly cheap for a high quality product. To contour today, I have the Anastasia Powder Contour Kit and the NYX HD Contour and Highlight Palette. I'm just applying that to the hollows of my cheeks, my forehead, and along the bottom of my jaw. Out of the two, I definitely prefer the NYX HD palette. I don't really use the Anastasia one that much anymore, but love the NYX palette. Back to that shadow to blend out the under eye area and bring the whole look together. Finish off those eyes with a coat of mascara. Next up, highlighters. I've got the Balm's Mary Luminizer and the MUA Undress Your Skin Highlight. Both of these products are incredibly pigmented and are both gold-toned highlighters. They're really, really easy to use, and I can't really decide between the two which one I most love, to be honest. I think they're both good, and depending on which budgets that you're working with, check them both out because you might be pleasantly surprised. Let's finish off with some lips. I have the Anastasia Soft Lilac and the Sephora Marvelous Mauve. I did get the color match slightly wrong on this. I'm sorry, it's not an exact dupe in terms of shade, but they are both similar products. And here's the finished look. My cheap dupes for expensive products. Let me know what you thought of this style of video in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!